Yo, what up, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for stopping by here on Monday to rock and roll with us for about an hour and a half or so. As we go Jesus Christ, this is a terrible intro. But you know what? We're just going to roll with the punches. The Giants didn't get a restart on Sunday. I'm not getting a restart today. I got to be better than that. I got to be better than that for you guys. Jesus, that was awful. Patrick Seatman, blame him. Blame the producer, as always. But in today's show, we got a lot to talk about. Mike Kafka replacements. Because you know what? On my way into work today, I said, I'm not sure that he deserves to be the offensive coordinator for the Giants much longer. Obviously, he's probably going to finish out the year for the Giants at that position. But what has he done to earn that job for the 2024 season and onward? So in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 people that I would like to see the Giants target to be their next offensive coordinator. And then, with the playoff picture essentially all but over, as the Giants have less than a 1% chance to make the playoffs, we're going to go over what I would perceive to be the New York Giants big board for the 2024 NFL Draft. As of right now, Monday, December 18th, the Giants own the 7th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. I'm going to name 10 players that I would like to see the Giants target at that position, maybe potentially trade up for a couple of guys. The Giants will have 4 picks, I believe, inside the top 70 this year. 4 picks inside the top 70. That should be 4 starters or potentially 4 trade chips to move up in the draft. So we got a whole bunch of fun stuff to get to, and we got 2 mailbags on today's show. So make sure to get your questions in using hashtag Giants. Already 100 people in this stream today. Let's get a real one roll call going in the chat. We got 100 people watching, not 100 people commenting, and only 20 people have hit that like button. If you just want us to close down the stream today, season's over, don't make any more videos on this channel, just let me know. We'll turn the stream off. We won't do any more content, and we'll just shut it down like the Giants have. But I know there's people that don't want that to happen. So do your part. Show some love. Be a real one. John Lieberman's in the chat. What up? Marty's a real one. Denrod. Mr. Rick has a birthday party tonight for someone very special, and he's still in the building today. What's going on, Mr. Rick? Jason McMullen. What's up, Brody? Ty Man, the Buckeye, is in the building. That's a real one here at Chat Sports. Rosenberry, what up? Mr. Paul Modesto. Tyrone 30K Topic. My man's always showing love. Thomas says, keeping it real, bruh. What's up, fellas? Jimmy's in the chat. King CC Short says, real one. Did you just see me beat Rebel Montana one-on-one in a duck race for $40? All I'm saying is I haven't got my $40 Venmo just yet, so hopefully that's coming. Bill the man is in the building. What's going on, Billy? Roller Coaster Mike's a real one. All right. We got you guys. You know what? I'll match the energy today. Let's ride. Before we dive any further, though, into our live show today, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Game Time. Game Time is the #1 ticketing app in the game, and you could get $20 off with promo code GIANTSCHAT when you download the Game Time app. If you're looking to go to a sporting event, a concert, a theater event, get hooked up with Game Time. Just go to the App Store, type in Game Time, download the app, use the promo code GIANTSCHAT. You're going to get $20 off. Lowest prices guaranteed. The prices drop as the events get closer. And did I say it was the lowest prices guaranteed? What I love about them is the flash deals that they have when the events get closer. Get hooked up with them. Promo code GIANTSCHAT20. And once you get your tickets to the game, put some lettuce on the line and play some daily fantasy with Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS for a $100 deposit match. Prize Picks is the #1 way to play daily fantasy sports. I'm a huge fan of it. Patrick Seatman is a huge fan of it. You guys will love it. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you just choose more or less on the stats that are projected for each player. You could play in the NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball, and so much more. Daily fantasy sports made easy. Get hooked up. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS. I want to start the show just by asking this question right here. Should the Giants fire Mike Kafka? Your offense, pretty much by every statistical category, is a bottom 3 offense in this league. What do you think? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Look, I couldn't 100% understand why everyone would say fire him. I don't think he's done the best job as the offensive coordinator. So, yeah, I think they probably should fire him. Will they? Not 100% sure, but I will understand a little bit if they don't. I mean, look what he got out of Daniel Jones last year. Look at what he's gotten out of Tommy DeVito in a limited time. That at least tells me, Patrick Seaman, that he could help a young quarterback develop and bring him up to speed in this league. But he needs a more talented player. Like, this isn't all his fault.
Yeah, and also with the amount of injuries to the offensive line, just a terrible play, and not really having a true weapon. Like, I mean, we thought Darren Waller would be that. I honestly think Darren Waller looks like a cooked product at this point. Really don't have a true number one receiver. You've seen drops from the receivers all year. Slayton, even Hyatt's had a couple. Like, I think it's just a combination of everything, but he should definitely be under blame as well.
Yeah. Sean Clowney in the chat. What's going on, Sean? Appreciate you tuning in, my man. Thomas said, I'd be happy as a mofo if we beat the Eagles just once. And yes, fire Kafka. At this point, I don't really know what the point is to win games going forward. I do want to do a little bit something different here as we do on some weekday shows. We always do giveaways on our live shows on Sunday, but I've got this extra Giants pennant. Mr. Rick sent me this a couple of months ago, found it in my room while I was doing the move, and I was like, you know what? This is a pretty damn cool pennant, and I want it to go to someone watching the show today. And the way we're going to do that is everybody that sends in a $5 super chat, we're going to sign this pennant with your name on it, and then you're going to be entered into the raffle at the end of the show. We'll spin the wheel, and whoever the wheel lands on, we will ship you this here pennant. So $5 super chat gets you into the raffle, but it also gets your name on the pennant as well. Shout out to Mr. Rick, Mr. Cha in the chat. Sent us this, and I want it to go to one of you guys. So $5 super chat to get your name on and to be entered into the competition. Clip 25K says, hey, March, hey, March. Hey, March. Hey, March. Well, my name's Marshall, so it's not March, it's not Marge, and it's damn sure not whatever you're typing. So hello to you as well, but come in here a little more prepared. Mr. What Up, he said, I would love to have that. Hey, $5 super chat. You could potentially win this item. No one's entered yet, so you'd be the only one to enter. $5 super chat. This could potentially be yours. We're going to close the show with 2 mailbags today. So if you haven't yet, get your question in the chat. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat. All Super Chats get to the front of the line. Upside to Life says, I think the homie is going through it. Yeah, he's calling me March and Marge. No, that's just not really close. So you know what? We'll give him a second and third and fourth opportunity, though. Nope says, we haven't really seen Waller with a good QB. Mr. Rick says, it's a stadium pennant. That is correct. They handed this pennant out at MetLife Stadium. I'm going to be honest. I kind of hope nobody wins because I want to keep this pennant. I think it looked pretty good at home studio, but it's up to you guys. Ty Man the Buckeye says, I have a Bengals pennant. I went on the Bengals watch party a while ago. Ty Man the Buckeye, that's why you're a Chat Sports legend. Hopefully someone can win this pennant today. Mr. P says, Marsh, where do I send it through? You send it on the live chat. You just go down to the comment section, and underneath there's a box with a $sign there. You click on that. You scroll the ball to 5 or however much you want to send, and you'll be entered. Like my man Tony Ballard sending in a $5 super chat to win this potential raffle. Kind of the kicker, though, that to this is when we do the giveaway at the end, you got to be there. You got to be there that way that I can get your shipping address so I don't have to track you down and do all of that stuff. So, Tony, you're in. You're the only one in right now. Just stick around for about an hour or so at the end so I can get your shipping address if you are the potential winner. Tony, I'm going to write your name on here as well. Gilly says, y'all turning on DeVito too soon. Still got 3 games. Can it be turning on him if I never actually believed in him?
Yeah, I think it's just the hype's down, right? Like it's
you guys have been trying to convince me for months. I mean, I got blasted on Twitter last week for saying Tyrod Taylor should be the starter. Also, Cha said he reviewed the photo finish of yesterday's duck race. He said he wins.
Wow. You were right there. Like, your nose was across the line when, who is it, the Bush kid won.
I mean, Seeps, let's be honest. We watched the film of the Patriots game. I watched the film of the Packers game, have not got to watch the film of yesterday's game, but he was simply not good at all. He was bad. That was the worst game he's played as a Giants starter. I think he played better against Dallas than he did yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was bad against Dallas, too.
Plus, he's just not a guy that can overcome drops and just poor offensive line play. Like, he's a dude you need everything to be going smoothly.
Yeah. Look, I appreciate everything DeVito has done, Gilly. It's been a lot of fun. It's the most fun we've had on this channel since the Giants won that playoff game against the Vikings. I think everyone needs to temper their expectations a little bit. Gilly, we appreciate you, though, for rocking and rolling and showing support here on Giants Now. Mr. P, my man, he says, let's go, Tommy. He wants in on the potential. What do you call this, Patrick Seaman?
A pennant.
I call it a pennant.
Yeah.
Some people will call it a flag. I'm calling this a pennant.
Nah, that's a pennant.
This is a pennant. And Mr. Palmadesso, I got to be saying that right? I like Mr. P. But Mr. Palmadesso's going on there as well.
Yeah, those are pennants. 100%. It's like baseball pennants.
Palmadesso.
And then my man PSN.
PSN LLC says, what's up, Brody? Cracks me up every time he's on here. My guy DeVito is a good backup QB, could improve. I think that Tommy DeVito will have a decent-ish long career as a backup quarterback in this league. I do think that. Could improve. Of course he could improve. I mean, you continue to play in this league, continue to get reps, you continue to hang in the quarterback room with some smart players. I mean, if he doesn't improve, he'll be out of this league here pretty soon. But I do appreciate what he's done the past couple of weeks. I just thought yesterday kind of showed that he's just not ready to be a full-time starter. And look, maybe you say, Marshall, that's not fair to come to that conclusion after just one game. I've already had that thought. Just some of the things I saw yesterday solidified that. Can't wait to go over the All-22 film later this week. But I just think he leaves too many plays on the table. Even the throw to Slayton yesterday, it took him 6 seconds too long to process that he was open. And prior to that, he had two guys wide open in the flat to the left. What I will say that I love about Tommy DeVito is he doesn't put the ball in harm's way very often. Has not turned the ball over in 4 weeks. And as a undrafted free agent, that's impressive, especially when you've been sacked the number of times that he has. So I will give him credit for the fact that he has not turned the ball over. That's pretty big time. I will give him a lot of credit for that. PSN, thanks for hanging out with us. Get your questions in, #Giants or Super Chat to get on the show. We got 2 mailbags to get to in a set. In about 30 minutes or so, we'll start our mailbags. We're going to get to Mike Kafka replacements and then some draft targets as the Giants are picking now 7th in the draft. Reminder, if you want to be entered for the Giants pennant raffle, send in a $5 Super Chat. All $5 Super Chats will get your name on the pennant and it'll also get you a spot on the wheel to win the pennant. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon, and we're about to get rolling on today's show.
Yeah, the Jamie Gillen field goal was wild, Tyson.
40-yarder. 40-yarder. 40-yarder.
What up? What up?
Woo! Marty says, who do you like at 7? Hey.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, my man. I got 10 players. And it's almost like at least one of those 10 guys will be there. At least one of those 10 guys will be there. Marty, appreciate the super chat, my man. I like a lot of players at 7. For me, though, there's this guy that played football down in Louisiana that won a Heisman that I think would be pretty cool. Pretty cool football player for the Giants. Marty, appreciate you. Always showing love, my man. Let's dive into it, though. So potential Mike Kafka replacements. Look, let's be honest. The Giants' offense has not been good this year. And Mike Kafka is going to be on the hot seat entering the offseason. So I want to ask this question before we dive into today's show to talk about potential Mike Kafka replacements. Do you think the Giants should fire Kafka? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm curious what the real ones think. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody stopping by and hanging out with us for a couple of minutes as we talk about five potential coaches, that I would like to see be in the mix as the next Giants offensive coordinator if Big Blue decides to move on from its current offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka. Kafka has not been fired yet. There has been reports that the Giants will move on from him after the season, but we will find out soon enough. Let's just kind of look at the rear view mirror before we look at the windshield. The offense this year was awful. Let's call a spade. You're 31st in points per game, 31st in yards per game, the worst passing offense in the league by yards metrics, and you're middle of the pack in rushing yards. And I'm not even really believing that this is even a middle of the pack rushing offense because I watch this team every week. It's very basic. Everything is a 2 or 3 yard run. And you're running in passing situations, which I feel like is kind of inflating that number a little bit. And you just have a really talented back in Saquon Barkley. These are your generic, everybody talks about these stats, right? I want to look at, I hate calling them advanced stats, but it's a little bit deeper than the broad numbers, right? Things that I think win football games. How good are you on third down? How good are you in the red zone? How good are you on first downs? Like, how often do you get first downs? And how good are you in the first quarter? Because in the first quarter, you only get, 3 drives max, probably 2 drives, and your first drive is scripted. That's why I think that's important. Third down percentage. The Giants are getting a first down on just 29.4% of their third down opportunities. That's 31st in the NFL. Red zone TD percentage. How good are you punching it in when the field shrinks and you're literally beating another team off of schemes and schematics? They score touchdowns at just 44% of their red zone drives. That's 30th in the NFL. They only pick up 15 first downs a game. It's 31st in the league. And you average 1.4 points per first quarter. Last in the league. That's a scripted drive. You should be able to manufacture points. The Giants have not scored a touchdown on an opening drive this year. Honestly, I don't think they've scored an offensive touchdown in the first quarter this year. Not 100% calling that a fact, but I can't really remember one. This is not all on Mike Kafka, though. Brian Daboll is the head coach. He was brought here to be the offensive coordinator. He deserves some of the blame as well. And let's just, evaluate everything. You're on your third quarterback. You've had more offensive line combinations than anybody in the NFL. Not a lot of talent, a lot of injuries, but it comes down to your offensive coordinator. I will say this. I like some of the things that Mike Kafka has done. I believe that he is a guy that could develop a quarterback. I saw him do it last year with Daniel Jones. He created a game plan and a way of playing football that made the Giants competitive with a limited quarterback. He once again did that this year with Tyrod Taylor, where they almost beat the Buffalo Bills, had the ball at the 1 yard line, and he did that for 3 games with an undrafted free agent rookie quarterback in Tommy DeVito. So I've seen him make life somewhat easy now on 3 quarterbacks, which makes me believe if you drafted a young rookie quarterback, Mike Kafka would be a good offensive coordinator to have. And that makes me not all aboard on firing Kafka. I don't think he should be the guy, but I'm not just standing up here and saying fire Kafka, fire Kafka, fire Kafka. I do think they will do it, and I think it is probably deserved, but I think he's done at least a decent enough job before you just say fire him to sit back and think, well, I can't forget about the Vikings playoff game. I know they're the worst defense in NFL history, but he still had Daniel Jones put up 30 points on the road and win a playoff game. But he is not going to, in my opinion, remain as the OC, whether he leaves or the Giants end up firing. So what are they going to do? Well, let's talk about 5 guys that could replace Kafka if he is no longer the offensive coordinator going into the 2024 season. To be honest, I think there's only one man for the job, and it's not who you think it might be. So we'll break that down. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because if the Giants fire Mike Kafka, we will make a video. If the Giants make any moves this offseason, we're going to make a video. We're going to have a video out on this channel every single day throughout the offseason. I can promise you that. So subscribe for free content throughout the offseason every single day. And help us get to 41,000 subscribers. We're less than 250 away. It's a huge accomplishment. And I want you to be a part of it. My number 1 Mike Kafka replacement is your current head coach, Brian Daboll, the guy that you hired to fix the offense because of what he did as the Buffalo Bills play caller, for what he did as the offensive mind behind the Buffalo Bills for what he did as he developed Josh Allen, the young, raw, talented quarterback that came into the draft. Brian Daboll should be the offensive coordinator and the play caller for the New York Giants in the 2024 season. And I understand why he didn't want to be when he first got here, because he said, I want to focus on being a head coach. He had never been a head coach before. And there was probably a lot of things that he knew he was going to have to handle that he never had to juggle before. But it's year 3 now. And all of the great teams in the NFL have their head coach, who is an offensive mind, become a play caller. Andy Reid, head coach, play caller. Kyle Shanahan, head coach, play caller. Sean McVay, head coach, play caller. And the list goes on, from Zach Taylor to Mike McCarthy to Kevin Stefanski to Doug Peterson to Sean Payton to Matt LaFleur and Kevin O'Connell. The great offensive minds stick around in this league for what they're able to do. And what Brian Daboll does best is call plays. That's why he was hired as the Giants' offensive head coach. It wasn't because he was a game manager. It wasn't because he was an elite, clock manager guy. It was because of what he was able to do as the play caller for the Bills. And it's time to start the Brian Daboll evaluation. We're entering year 3. Year 1 was awesome. Year 2 was a disaster class. Let's be honest. I think Daboll's the guy, but he had a horrible year as the head coach for a lot of reasons. So if he has another bad year in year 3, you got to start asking if he's the guy going forward. And I think the way that he can remain the future, the guy for the now and the future of the head coach of the New York Football Giants is to become the play caller. The Buffalo Bills, when he was the play caller, were consistently one of the best offenses in the National Football League. That's why he got this job. That's why in the 2022 head coach search, he was the top dog. Go save your team. Go save your team and go save your career as a head coach in the NFL. Because right now, your back's against the wall. The evaluation has started. And I think the way that you can help yourself is going and calling plays and doing a damn good job of it. Do you want Brian Daboll to call plays next year for our New York Football Giants? I want to hear from you down in the comment section. Type 1 for yes. Type 2 for no. For me, it's 100% I'm typing my ones. He's the only guy outside of Mike Kafka I want calling the plays. He has a relationship with the quarterback on the roster, if it's Daniel Jones or Tommy DeVito, and I've seen what he could do with a young quarterback in Josh Allen. And if I'm drafting a QB, I want him to be in lockstep with my head coach. Brian Daboll should be the only guy as the offensive coordinator next year. If it's not Brian Daboll, the next guy I think that should get this job is Ken Dorsey, the former offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. He was with Brian Daboll in Buffalo from 2019 to 2021. He has a great relationship with Brian Daboll, and we have heard from multiple reports that Daboll is extremely hard on his coordinators. And if you're going to be hard on your coordinators, you need to have a good, solid, working and friendly relationship with them to where they know what to expect. Also, Brian Daboll wanted to hire Ken Dorsey in the summer of 2022 as the Giants offensive coordinator before he went and got elevated from the quarterback coach to the OC. Dorsey obviously was fired earlier this season from Buffalo. But in 2022, when Ken Dorsey was the offensive coordinator, the year after Brian Daboll left, the Bills' offense was one of the best in the NFL. Second in points per game, second in yards per game, top 10 in passing yards and rushing yards per game. If it's not going to be Mike Kafka and it's not going to be Brian Daboll, I want to see Ken Dorsey get that job. I think the relationship with Daboll and the fact that they're schematically on the same page would be the best next option, in my opinion. We got 3 more guys to talk about, but first, I want to tell you guys about our proud sponsor of today's show, PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the promo code CLNS. When you use that, you'll get a $100 match up to your first deposit. PrizePicks is the #1 way to play daily fantasy sports, and it is the easiest way. PrizePicks creates a stat total for every single player, and all you do is select more or less on those stats. You create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply do that. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, and they will match your first deposit up to $100. All right, I understand some people may not like this next one, but you know what? I think it's pretty dang obvious. Eric Bieniemy is a good play caller. He is a good offensive mind, and he has worked in multiple spots. He's a hard-nosed coach, has a hard-nosed approach, And I think that fits with a guy like Brian Daboll. Eric Bieniemy kind of reminds me of the offensive coordinator version of Wink Martindale in a sense. You got a really strong, established DC in Wink. Eric Bieniemy has proven that he can call plays with the best of them. He's unlikely to be hired as Washington's head coach, as they are probably going to get rid of their entire staff. And I like how he has developed Sam Howell, the quarterback for the Commanders, and put him in a position to succeed. What about this? Everyone talked about it wasn't going to be a big deal when Eric Bieniemy left the Chiefs. Eric Bieniemy didn't call plays. All he did was have a large say-so in the offensive game plan every week. Well, the Chiefs went from the number one offense when Eric Bieniemy was the play caller for them to now a fringe top 10 offense, and they are now one of the worst fourth quarter and second half offenses in the National Football League. He's been in big games. He's worked around Andy Reid. He's developed a guy like Patrick Mahomes, even if they don't have a strong relationship, and he's gotten the most out of a lot of players. And he's had a whole lot of success in this league. And for me, that means a lot. I understand there's some off-the-field baggage. I understand some people don't like him. You know what? I don't care about that. Get the best guy for the job. And Eric Bieniemy should be in that conversation. Who would you rather have as the OC, though? Is it Ken Dorsey or is it Eric Bieniemy? Type KD for Ken Dorsey, EB for Bieniemy. I would go with Dorsey over Bieniemy due to the relationship playing a huge part in that with Daboll. But man, what else does the guy have to prove? I think he's done a pretty good job everywhere he's went. I wouldn't mind bringing in a guy like Byron Leftwich, former quarterback, in the National Football League, was the offensive coordinator for the Bucs when they won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. He's been in big games. He's come up with winning game plans in those big games. Did he benefit from having Tom Brady? Absolutely. But I also think that helps with him going forward in other jobs. He was fired by the Bucs in 2022, and if the Giants are going to draft a quarterback in the 2024 NFL draft, I think having a guy that's played that position in the NFL, had some success, and then won a Super Bowl as an offensive coordinator helps for the maturation and development of that player. Leftwich is a guy that I would absolutely have on the top of my list as a potential Mike Kafka replacement. A guy that I do like a lot and has been getting a lot of buzz around the National Football League is Darrell Bevell, the quarterback coach for the Miami Dolphins. He has done a great job with Tua Tagovailoa, and he is one of the top names to get an offensive coordinator job this offseason, and he's been in the NFL since 2000. He's seen it all. He's done it all. Went from an assistant QB coach in Green Bay to the QB coach. Then he went from the QB coach in Green Bay to the offensive coordinator in Minnesota for 4 seasons. Then the offensive coordinator for Seattle for 6 seasons. Then an offensive coordinator season with the Detroit Lions. He got elevated to their interim head coach. 2 times he's been an interim head coach for the Lions and the Jags. And now he's the assistant QB coach for the Miami Dolphins. I like what he's done with Tua. I think learning from a guy like Mike McDaniel, looking at the game kind of through a different lens, it means a lot, and I think he's put in the work to get an opportunity like this. Love the experience, love all the different stops, and I like the fact that he's a proven winning coordinator in this league. We gave you 5 guys to keep your eyes on. Who do you want to be the Giants OC next year? Is it Kafka? Is it Daboll? Is it Dorsey? Is it Leftwich? Is it Bevell? Is it someone out there that we did not mention? Give me a name of somebody you want to be the OC next year, and I'll do some more research on them, and maybe we'll do a Mike Kafka replacements part 2. As always, just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for tuning in to Giants Now by Chat Sports. If you haven't yet, give me a follow on Twitter, @MarshallGreen_. I'm trying to talk more Giants football over there, and I want to do it with some real ones. Send me a DM and give me a follow, @MarshallGreen_. Woo! Rob Jigga says, sorry I missed the party tonight. Yeah, there's no party yet. No party yet. You guys are still the best. How you doing, Marsh? We're doing all right, brother. We're hanging in there. We're hanging in there. The Bronx boy has entered, my man. He said the play calling has been subpar, but the most of the QB play, O-line, and receivers all stink. Rebuild the offense. I agree with that. I agree with that, my man. As I'm going to write your name on here. Seeps, you've watched a lot of Giants football. You've also watched a lot of Vikings football. Why, for me, when I watch the Vikings, it doesn't always seem so hard. When you watch the Giants, every play is a drag it out, grind it out type of play.
Yeah. I think it's because the Vikings do have, an elite arsenal weapons that just makes it easier, especially for these quarterbacks. Like the amount of times this past weekend, Nick Mullins threw an awful football, and it was either Jefferson, Addison, or Hockenson going up and making a play. I honestly just think.
But even when Jefferson was out, though, too.
They were cooking a little bit. But I do think it's just a combination. You're not this bad in the NFL. You're not this bad where you're last in everything. It's a combination of it all. Like, it's not like, oh, it's all on one guy. It's all on this. Like, I think Kafka can stink. I think Broxbow, you nailed on the head. They all probably stink if you're last in everything. I mean, those stats are terrible.
Rebuild it all. Yeah. Rebuild it all. Ken P., what's up, man? Marshall, I was at the game yesterday. Got to meet DeVito's family and agent. They are legit. The kids got heart. Team did not look motivated on both sides. What happened? Not DeVito's fault. 1-1-1. DeVito does not. This is not all DeVito's fault. When you talk about the reason the Giants lost yesterday, DeVito is at the very, very bottom. I think it was obvious after the first 3 drives of the game that the New Orleans Saints were just the better football team yesterday. They came out and punched you in the mouth. They dominated the offensive line of scrimmage. They dominated the defensive line of scrimmage. I mean, how many times do we see Saquon Barkley get the ball handed to him on 1st and 10, and then it was 2nd and 9? Crazy stat. Yesterday, on 3rd downs for the Giants, their average distance to go, 10.7 yards.
Wow.
That means you backed up on 1st and 2nd down on average. You were getting 3rd and 11 pretty much every time on 3rd down. That's why you went 2 of 16 on 3rd downs. I think Tommy DeVito's a great kid. I think he's got heart like you said it. But the limitations are there, and for obvious reasons. No quarterback in the NFL can operate consistently behind the sticks and consistently have success. They could probably have sex, probably, but not success. Jesus. That was awful yesterday, man. That was just bad football on both sides. I didn't feel like the Giants applied any pressure, and I'm not talking about QB pressure. I'm talking about pressure to the Saints offense. Like, they just put their hands up and said, do what you want. Yeah. Like, there was no resistance from the Giants defense whatsoever. Awful game yesterday, Ken. Appreciate you showing up. Appreciate you supporting the show. Your name is on the pennant, and you can win this at the end if you do want to hang around. Reminder, every $5 super chat today, you're going to get your name on the pennant, and then your name is going to go on a wheel. We'll spin the wheel, and at the end of the show, some Giants Now Real one is going to win this Giants pennant. It was handed out at MetLife Stadium this year. Mr. Rick Cha in the chat gifted this to the channel, and we want to give it to someone watching right now. $5 super chat will get you in to potentially win this. Who did they want as the OC? I didn't really get to see the chat. I saw they didn't like the Eric Bieniemy idea. Dorsey?
Yeah.
I think if you hire Dorsey, you could also have Daboll still call plays. You hire Dorsey and then Daboll is your play caller.
I bet you Daboll's going to call plays next year because if he
kind of has to. Mike McCarthy was forced into it this year.
And plus, if his job's on the line,
don't you want to be the guy? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm shocked he didn't start already.
Yeah. I agree. For me, I want Brian Daboll to be the play caller. I would like it for Dorsey to be the OC, and Dorsey kind of knows that Daboll's the play caller, and they come together and come up with a game plan. That's just my take. All righty. We're going to, with the Giants losing yesterday and having less than a 1% chance to make the playoffs, let's focus on the NFL draft a little bit. We stopped doing draft stuff on the channel for 3 weeks because the Giants won 3 games in a row. But you know what? Can't avoid the inevitable for much longer. Giants draft talk. Let's get into it. The 2024 NFL Draft will be here before you know it. And with the NFL season coming to a close, I wanted to look forward at 10 potential players the Giants could be looking at with their first round selection. After the loss to the Saints this past weekend, the Giants currently sit at the number 7 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. So you can get a very good player at pick number 7, but you also have 4 picks inside the top 70, which tells me if there's a player that you think is going to go before you are on the clock, you can package up some of these picks to move up and go select that player. So you look at the full draft order right now as we film this video on December 18th. The Bears still own the number 1 pick via the Carolina Panthers. Then you got the New England Patriots, the Arizona Cardinals, Washington Commanders, Chicago Bears, New York Jets, New York Giants, Los Angeles Chargers, and the Tennessee Titans. Look from number 5 from the Chicago Bears to number 9 from the Tennessee Titans. Every team is 5 and 9. All of that is dependent on the strength of schedule. That is how the tiebreaker is decided in the first round. And you got the Atlanta Falcons selecting number 10th as currently constructed. According to ESPN, the Giants have a 59% chance to be picking inside the top 5. So let's kind of just operate with the mindset that the Giants are more likely than not to be picking, at worst, 5th overall. So let's talk about a full draft board, because we believe that the Giants, if they love a quarterback, may go up and trade for that guy, especially if the Bears are picking there and they're not selecting a quarterback. Well, number 1, Caleb Williams should be number 1 on your draft board. I think he is an incredible quarterback, and I am not alone. Almost every publication has Caleb Williams as the number 1 quarterback entering the 2024 NFL Draft. I'm not going to say he's Patrick Mahomes, but I think he's the closest player we've seen to Mahomes coming out of the draft. I think he's actually a little bit closer to Kyler Murray in a sense, but I think he has a much higher ceiling than Kyler Murray. Look, 6'1", 215. The arm is there. The plays are there. Gives me some Aaron Rodgers vibes. The multiple arm angles, elite arm talent. Some of the throws he makes are ridiculous, off platform. The dude's just a gamer. He's a baller. He makes plays that not a lot of other people in this world can make. And if you're going to build around some guy in this draft, I think he's number 1. Number 2, though, it's the other quarterback, Drake May, quarterback out of North Carolina. More of your prototypical quarterback, 6'4", 230 pounds. Can drop back, air it out, throw it from hash to hash, number to number, sideline to sideline. There's not a blade of grass that Drake May cannot get the football to. He reminds me of Justin Herbert. Pretty chalk take, but I just believe that he is the guy that no matter if he's rolling left, fading right, he can stop, pop, and drop a 55-yard bullet pass. His arm is incredible. He's an underrated athlete. He can tuck it and run it when he has to. I think he is going to be an immediate stud when he enters this league. And if the Giants can find a way to trade up to the top of the draft using that draft capital we talked about and select Drake May or Caleb Williams, I'm going to be extremely happy, and I think Giants fans will be that as well. If you can only pick one of these two guys, though, who would you rather the Giants trade up for? Is it Caleb Williams? Is it Drake May? Some people worry about the attitude, the leadership, and the off-the-field stuff with Caleb Williams. And some people think because he went to North Carolina, which is a basketball school, and kind of looks like Daniel Jones, he's going to be a bust. So let me know what you think. Type CW for Caleb Williams or DM for Drake May. If you're not going to go quarterback, I think the best player honestly, even if you're factoring in quarterbacks, I think the best player in this draft might just be Marvin Harrison Jr. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. entering the NFL is going to enter as a top 20 receiver in this league. And I think we all know the Giants just need way more playmakers on this offense. They scored 6 points versus the New Orleans Saints yesterday. They don't really have any game breakers, and that is exactly what MHJ is. 67 grabs this year, over 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns, 18 yards per catch. I mean, when you go to Madden and you create a receiver and you make him a 99 and everything, that's pretty much Marvin Harrison Jr. He reminds me of a prime A.J. Green. He is going to be special in this draft. I will say this. I've been kind of bullish on the idea of drafting an offensive tackle inside the top 5, but I had this coming to Jesus moment. I am not letting Evan Neal and what he's put on tape through the first 2 seasons and the amount of games he's missed stop me from drafting a potential all-pro right tackle. And that might just be what Joe Alt is at Notre Dame. I know he plays left tackle, 6'8", 315 pounds, but he would obviously move to right tackle with the Giants. The Giants' offensive line is broken. There's only one guy I have faith in. That's Evan Neal. I want to believe in John Michael Schmitz, but look, I know he's a rookie, but he's already 24 years old and he hasn't looked that good. Maybe that's because the offensive line coach, Bobby Johnson, has not been able to develop anybody. But I'm not going to let Evan Neal be the guy that's stopping me from drafting Joe Alt to shore up my offensive line. If he's there and you're on the clock, you should not be happy if they continue to put more investments into this offensive line. We talked about playmakers with Marvin Harrison Jr. Well, Brock Bowers may be maybe the second best playmaker in this draft. And the Giants, they need more playmakers. They are dead last in almost every offensive category. Brock Bowers would help with that. Do you need a tight end? Probably not. You got Darren Waller, you got Daniel Bellinger, but Brock Bowers is simply more than a tight end. He could flex out to wide receiver. He could take an end-around handoff. The dude just makes plays. 6 touchdowns this year, 700-plus yards, battle a little bit of injuries, but if you've been paying attention to college football over the last 3 years, seems like Brock Bowers is always making big-time plays when his team needs it most, and I would love to see a chess piece like Bowers in this offense if Brian Daboll is the guy calling plays moving forward. Make sure you are subscribed, though, to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. We're going to continue to put out content for free every single day, so give us a shot. Subscribe, and maybe we could prove to you we're the #1 Giants channel on YouTube, so subscribe and help us get to 41,000 subscribers. I'm also going to put Jaden Daniels inside the top 10 for the Giants when it comes to their potential big board for the 2024 season. I think I've made it pretty clear at this point, but if this is your first time coming across the channel, I believe the Giants need to draft a quarterback. And with where they are sitting in this year's draft, you may not be able to get up into the top 2 to go get Drake May or Caleb Williams, despite the draft ammunition that you have. How about you just select the Heisman winner at pick number 7? Jaden Daniels is special. The growth that he had from year 1 at LSU to year 2 was awesome. Up his completion percentage to 72.2, almost 4,000 passing yards, 40 touchdowns through the air, and just 4 interceptions. And he was the best running college quarterback in college football. Over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. He could do it all. And if I'm the Giants, and I'm going to continue to employ Brian Daboll, who you hired here to fix this offense, I want to give him a pitch that can have him hit a home run. And Jaden Daniels is the type of guy that you can hit a home run with if you're Brian Daboll. If you believe that Daboll is the QB guru, like you thought he was when he hired him, Jaden Daniels might be that guy that can help him reach that status. Just like what I said with Joe Alt, I'm also going to say the same thing with the offensive tackle Olu Fashanu out of Penn State. I think Alt is better, but Fashanu is also projected to be an elite offensive lineman in this league. Extremely athletic guy. And I'm not letting Evan Neal stop me from beefing up this O-line. I would love to have the problem of Evan Neal plays good in the offseason, looks good, and then you have 3 good offensive tackles. Sure, move 1 inside, but you can't go into next year with the only investment at your offensive tackle position being Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal. Because if there's one thing that I've learned about Evan Neal through 2 seasons is he's consistently inconsistent. And that factors in injury and play on the football field. We're going to get 2 more draft prospects that will be on the Giants' big board entering the 2024 draft. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Game Time, the #1 ticketing app in the game. Download the Game Time app by going to the App Store and use the promo code GIANTSCHAT, and you're going to get $20 off. It's the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. What I love is prices drop as events get closer. So if you're kind of a procrastinator like I am, you could wait till the last minute, and then you'll also get the lowest prices guaranteed. When you download the app, go to the redeem code screen, put in Giants Chat, and you're going to get $20 off. It's not just Giants games. It's not just Knicks games. It's not just Yankees games. It's sporting events. It's concerts. It's theater events. It's musicals. It is everything. Game Time is the best. I'm a huge fan of it. Get hooked up with them. Download the Game Time app. Promo code Giants Chat. Playmakers, playmakers, and more playmakers. What we said for Marvin Harrison, what we said for Brock Bowers applies to Malik Neighbors, the wide receiver at LSU. He is a special, special player, ladies and gentlemen, and he has already been mocked to the New York Giants by a couple of draft experts that I thoroughly respect their work. 6', 6'1", 200 pounds. The stats this year were incredible. He popped off the screen anytime you put the LSU Tigers on your television. 86 receptions, almost 1,600 yards, 14 touchdowns. Reminds me a little bit of Stephon Diggs. Got a little Odell Beckham in him. He is going to be a wide receiver 1 in this league. Giants don't have that on this roster. I would love to see them add a guy like Malik Neighbors. Just like we talked about, you need offensive playmakers. The Giants also need defensive playmakers. And Dallas Turner, the edge rusher for the Crimson Tide, in my opinion, is the #1 pass rusher in this draft class. And I love Kayvon Thibodeau. And I love Dexter Lawrence. but they can't do it themselves. Pairing up Turner with Thibodeau, and you still have Azeez Ojulari, who I think is a really good player, even though he's very, very injury-prone, would be a good, nice young rotation of pass rushers. You got to get after the quarterback more if you're the Giants. Last 2 years, you've been bottom half of the league in sacks per game and sacks overall. Get back to doing what made the Giants the best. Dominating in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Dallas Turner will help you make plays on defense. If you're not going to take Turner, what about the other Crimson Tide defensive player who is an absolute game changer and playmaker? And also probably the coolest name in the draft, Kool-Aid McKinstry, the do-it-all DB for Alabama. The Giants may be without Xavier McKinney next year. He is going to be a free agent. Maybe they don't want to give him big bucks. Kool-Aid could play corner, outside, inside. He could play safety. He could do it all. He plays everywhere in the defensive backfield for Bama, and you need more defensive playmakers. You've been low in the league in interceptions. You've been low in the league in forced fumbles and turnovers overall the last 2 years. Adding a guy like McKinstry just beefs up your defense, gives you more playmakers. And Evan Banks and McKinstry, 2 first-round corners on the outside going forward. That's a pretty good look for a defense heading into the future. I'm a big fan of his. I think the name's pretty damn cool as well. Who do you want the Giants to draft? We just talked about 10 players that could potentially be a New York Giant 5 months from now. Who do you want, though? Maybe we didn't talk about him. Give me a name down in the comment section. As always, just want to say thank you and appreciate you. If you want to continue the conversation on who the Giants should select in the first round of the draft, hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. Jimmy said he's drinking Kool-Aid right now. Got to make him a Giant.
Kool-Aid, you just know he won't be a bust.
He's not going to be a bust. Too good of a football player.
He's got too much, well, that too, but he's got too much pressure with a name like that.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have to live up to those expectations. That jersey would be such a high seller, too.
I would want it to say, like on Yao Ming's jersey, it said Yao.
Yao.
I want it to say Kool-Aid on the back.
That'd be sick.
Ty Man the Buckeye says not Marvin Harrison. Why? Because you don't want to see him go to waste with the Giants.
Marvin Harrison's by far the best player in this draft. He's going to walk in. He could be a top 5 receiver.
He's going to be good.
Like day one.
He's going to be really good.
He does everything well as a wide receiver. He's got also the natural talent, too.
He's a stud, man. He's a stud. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Reminder, if you want to enter the raffle to win today's Giants giveaway item, it's a pennant that comes from MetLife Stadium. $5 super chat gets you in the raffle, and it gets your name on the flag pennant as well. $5 super chat to enter. We'll be doing the raffle and the spin, the wheel, at the end of the show, about 30 minutes or so. Get your $5 super chats in if you want to be in the giveaway for today's item. What up, Asia? Asia Roberson in the building. Ty Man the Buckeye says, I feel like every player is leaving Ohio State. That's just the nature of college football, my man. That's just the nature of college football. Nope, I am not being baited by that. You're better than that. Jay Sports Card getting his question in. If you haven't got your question in, go ahead and do so right now. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat to be featured on the mailbag coming up. We're about to dive into mailbag 1, but we need more questions from all of the real ones. Zach Attack, I need you to get your question in, my man. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat. Did I say that? There's only one lineman I have faith in. It's Evan Neal. Well, I meant Andrew Thomas, so
yeah,
I think it's pretty obvious.
We all know who it is.
Yeah, come on, nope. Jimmy Corleone, what up, Jimmy? Micah says, let's sign Tyron Smith. He's a little old. Damn good player, though. Gus Nini, Indian Scammer, 123, getting his Indian. That's Indian Scammer. I think I read that wrong. Ghosty Boy says Harrison is going to the Cardinals or Commanders. Yeah, maybe. All righty. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat. Reminder, $5 Super Chat gets you in the raffle to win today's pennant. Shit, I meant 20. I don't know what you're talking about there, Rob Jigga. I don't know what you're talking about, Robbie. All righty, let's get into it. Mailbag number 1. We got another mailbag coming up, so continue to get your questions in for us. Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. We're going to answer some questions from subscribers here on today's show. A lot to talk about. Could be looking at the offseason, could be looking at the draft, could be looking at free agency. The Giants right now, their season is all but over when it comes to the playoff picture. It's about the future and what is coming down the line. And I'm excited to see what all the Giants fans are talking about. If we didn't get to your question today, change that because you need to subscribe. Subscribers, questions only. Jay Sports Card says, hey, Marshall, what's the deal with the lack of Jalen Hyatt? The Giants are wasting him. I'm not going to say the Giants are wasting Jalen Hyatt. Look, this offense isn't very good. I think if you asked every offensive playmaker on this team about their season, they would say it's been disappointing. They simply have not scored enough points and have not accumulated enough yards for anyone's stats to look good, and that includes Saquon Barkley. I do not love the lack of involvement that Hyatt has in this offense at times. They continue. I want to see Jalen Hyatt take the snaps of Darius Slayton. I know who Darius Slayton is. He is what he is at this point. He makes too much money. You're paying him $7 million per year. You should cut him after this year, save that money, and invest it into the offensive line. I would like to see the remainder of the season Jalen Hyatt play more. They threw him 2 slants yesterday. I don't know if I'm going to say both those are drops. At least one of those were drops. Looks like he has a limited route tree so far. Some of the early questions were true, have come to truth, I guess you could say, in his rookie year. I still believe in the player. I think when he gets put together with a good quarterback, he's going to show that he could be an explosive weapon in this league. I just hope it's in time for the Giants to get a quarterback to help him do that. Saquon Barkley is him, says, at this point, I don't think we should draft a QB. Give Daniel Jones another chance. Get him some good help. Agree, Marsh? No, I do not agree. I think the Daniel Jones experiment should be over if you are the New York Giants. Kind of like what I said about Darius Slayton. I know who Daniel Jones is. I think he's a decent quarterback. I don't think he raises your talent, like if you just had a generic team and all it didn't have was a quarterback, I don't think Daniel Jones is raising the expected win total for that team. I also think that Daniel Jones kind of showed that when the playbook opened up a little bit more this year, they had more talent around him. He didn't really capitalize with it. I think it's got to be a very vanilla playbook and schematically basic for Daniel Jones to excel and have success. I don't think he reads the field well. I don't think he gets from progression to progression well. And I don't think he makes a lot of big plays. So I'm moving on from Daniel Jones. I think the Giants should draft a quarterback, but that's just my opinion. I do know this. You should subscribe to Giants Now by Chat Sports. We continue to put out content every single day. We're going to continue to do that in the offseason, and we're not going anywhere. We're going to be here all offseason. When other channels take a break, we ain't taking a break. So subscribe. Free updates every day. Jimmy Corleone, my man. What up, Brody? You think DeVito, with a little coaching, can be the guy? No, I do not think that Daniel Jones. I don't think Daniel Jones can be the guy either anymore. I also don't think Tommy DeVito can be the guy. Do I think that there is a future for him in the NFL? Absolutely. I think Tommy DeVito could have a long career as a spot starting backup quarterback in this league. I don't think the arm's big enough. I don't think the processing is there. And I just don't think he has it. I don't think he has the juice to be a franchise quarterback. I mean, there's a reason he was an undrafted free agent. Not everybody's Brock Purdy. Not a lot of times 32 general managers miss on a guy 7 times each. And he proves you wrong. I think DeVito will have a good career. He's better than I thought he was. I think he'll be a good backup for this team. I think he'll get better. He only can get better. He's going to get better. I don't think he's a franchise guy, though, Jimmy. Giants edits. Do we trade down in the draft? It's an interesting question because you could look at it 2 ways. The Giants need more good players, and you could pick more good players if you have more picks. But the Giants also need game changers. They also need needle movers. They need more dogs. And you get dogs more likely at the top of the draft. You have 4 picks already inside the top 70. More darts equals higher success of those 4 guys being good. Matters how the board shakes out, but I would say just stick and pick. Get the best player available. Get the guy that's the best player. Because the Giants need more best players. They don't have a lot of those right now. We'll get to more questions coming up in a second, but I got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor, Game Time, the #1 ticketing app in the game. Open the App Store on your phone. Download the Game Time app. Just go into the search and type in Game Time and download it. The logo looks like it does on the bottom right of the screen. That might be the left. Bottom left of the screen. And then when you download the app, put in the promo code Giants Chat. You're going to get $20 off. Promo code Giants Chat. Get $20 off your first purchase on Game Time. NBA tickets, NFL tickets, but not just sporting events. You can go to concerts. You can go to theater events. You can go to musicals and so much more. It's the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. You get a view of the event from your seat before making the purchase. I'm a huge fan. You'll love Game Time as well. Download them and use the promo code Giants Chat. Gabe Zielinski. There's no way I said that right. Says, I want Jaden Daniels. Well, one, change your profile picture because we all hate Kadarius Toney. Can we all actually just get an FKT in the chat right now? Can we all get an FKT in the chat, F Kadarius Toney? But I'm with you. Jaden Daniels, if I can't get Drake May or I can't get Caleb Williams, I want the Giants to draft Jaden Daniels. He's an elite playmaker. I think he's a needle mover. And I think he's a guy that Brian Daboll can build a franchise around. Gabe, you know Bo. Cha! What up, Mr. Rick? Any word on JMS? He didn't play well. Has not been good this year. I'm going to give him a pass. I'm going to say that Bobby Johnson has proven one thing in his time as the offensive line coach for the Giants. He has not been able to get the best out of anyone outside of Andrew Thomas. Giants cannot afford for John Michael Schmitz to be bad and Evan Neal to be bad. You can't use 2 picks on 2 offensive linemen inside the top 55 or whenever John Michael Schmitz was picked, and they both be bad. So, yeah, he needs to be better. He needs to be better. Jay Sports Card, with the recent play, do you think we should re-sign Xavier McKinney? It's going to come down to price point for Xavier McKinney. I think that he is a above average safety in this league. I don't think he's anything special. I think if Xavier McKinney plays or doesn't play, the spread in Las Vegas is the exact same. I don't think he changes the game too much. I'm not paying him top dollar money when it comes to the safety market. I'd like to have him back, but I'm not overpaying for him. I think that you could find a lot of people to do what Xavier McKinney does. Upside to Life says, how would you feel about the Giants trading up to get a wide receiver? Trading up from pick 7 to get a wide receiver? The only receiver you're trading up for at that point is for Marvin Harrison Jr. If you mean trading up from the 2nd round, maybe into the back half of the 1st, a couple of guys you can go and get there. I don't know if I'm trading up for a receiver, though, just because there's so many other holes on this team that they have to fill. And with 4 picks inside the top 70, I'd rather use those 4 picks than to trade up for Marvin Harrison Jr., even though I do think he's going to be an elite receiver. But you also need a tackle. You need an edge rusher. You need a quarterback. You need another safety. And you need a receiver. A lot of stuff to fill. Nope. What are the biggest holes on defense right now? Pass rusher, corner, and I'd say safety. Pass rusher, corner, safety. Playmakers. Guys that affect games. Guys that make shit happen. They need more of those guys. Doers. They need more doers. Matthew Shackelford. That's not a real name. Yeah, it is. Maybe. Potentially. With all due respect. What is the future for this offense? Hopefully, Brian Daboll calling the plays. Hopefully, Brian Daboll calling the plays for the 2024 season. Brian Daboll was hired to be the head coach of the Giants for what he has done as an offensive coordinator in this league. Your back's against the wall. Go call plays. All the good teams do it. Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, even the fucking Cowboys are doing it with Mike McCarthy. Go call plays. Or you have another bad season in year 3, you might be calling plays for someone in the XFL. As always, make sure you are subscribed to Giants Now, as we appreciate everybody that joined us on today's video. We'll be back tomorrow with another Giants Now video on YouTube, so subscribe and turn notifications on. All righty. We're going to run through one more mailbag before we bounce on out of here. But Gilly says ignored. Blame Patrick Seatman, Gilly. I don't get to choose what questions go on the screen. Thing is, Gilly. We got another mailbag coming up. Seatman is gone. Patrick Seatman said, I'm not doing this show anymore. But you know what? PSN, my man, we've come a long way. Good to see you back on the channel, and we appreciate the $5 super chat, my man. You're going on the flag, and you've got a chance to win the flag, brother. Shout out to PSN LLC. Says, guys, not sure this is the forum, but I would love to hear more about your individual backgrounds. Yeah, probably not the forum today, as it's a tight day here at Chat Sports. Everyone's getting ready for the holidays. But hey, if you watch this channel enough, you'll learn a lot about my life that probably shouldn't be told. But PSN, you're a good dude. We appreciate you hanging out. Maybe we do an AMA, an Ask Marshall Anything mailbag at some point. You are on the flag, though, PSN, and you have entered the raffle. If you want to win this flag, send in a $5 super chat, and you could potentially be the winner. Every super chat, though, gets your name signed to the flag. James Hollerson said, I've been ignored sending super chat. We don't have a super chat from you today, James. So if it happened in the past, I can't speak on that. But I apologize if that happened. Blame Seeps, though. Seeps is the one who puts the super chats up, not me. You see stuff moving on the screen in like 5 seconds? It's magic. My hands are here and it's moving. It will be once Coops presses spacebar. They think that I choose the questions that go on the mailbags. Yeah, exactly. I do. And then I ignore them all. Exactly. As Bill comes in with a $5 super chat, he says, put me on the flag, and if I win, send it to Corinne. What a sweetheart. You, Billy. What about Billy in the holiday move?
I love it, Billy.
Bill, we appreciate you, my man. So what we're doing is $5 soups.
Okay.
Get you on here. And also get you a spot on that wheel over yonder. And then we're going to spin the wheel at the end of this mailbag. And the winner's going to get this bill. Bill Pennant.
Sounds good.
I'm in.
I'm in.
Jeffrey Cooperstein in the building. Coop, how we doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to be on. I haven't been on Giants Now in a long time.
You haven't? What happened to your boys yesterday?
It was a total no-show from the boys in Buffalo. Is it an indication of what's to come? I don't think so. Will they still lose in the second round to the 49ers? Yes. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't think they're a completely fraudulent team, but I also don't think that they're the best team in the NFC. A lot will be told tonight about the Eagles. Jalen Hurts supposed to play, so we'll see what happens with him.
He is going to play?
That's what they say.
Bill, you are on the flag, my man. You are on the flag. Let's ride.
Let's go.
Pokey Moore, what up, Pokey? Ghosty Boy says, answer mine. Hey, hashtag Giants. You're up to Coop's discretion if your question's good enough. You want to guarantee your question on the show? Super chat. It's the only way I can actually guarantee your question get on the mailbag is by super chatting.
So what Seep said made no sense to me. So I'm gonna just ask you, like, have these been used?
Yep.
All these have been used?
No.
No?
And only one of those did.
This one has?
Not.
But this one has?
Yes.
Okay. So we're just gonna go from here on top.
Pretty cool football from Pew. Wait, what? Bill got a football from Justin Pugh? That's pretty cool.
I should probably pull the stream up on my computer.
No, yeah, that could make some sense. Corinne said, well, Asia, yes, we are doing the Knicks game tonight. Me and Coop will be on the Knicks call.
Yes, sir.
Tip not till 10:30 Eastern time. Long day for the kids. Long day.
What's our sponsor?
James, look, I apologize if you sent in a super chat and it didn't come up on screen. I apologize. I can't fix it. Fuck me, right? My bad. I will do my best to make sure if you ever do feel so inclined to send one in again, I will mandate and threaten the producer if they don't put it on again. So James, from me, in Coop, in Seeps, in Roley, in Brett Scott, in James Yoder, and everybody here at Chat Sports,
Jack.
and Jack Lauderay, we apologize.
Rob Jigga.
We apologize, James. Sorry. Players fuck up too. Jeez, man. I apologize, bruh. I will do my best to make sure if you ever feel so inclined to do that. Rob Jigga, $5 super chat. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Just hope you guys added holiday blue screen stuff. Maybe a snowman or reindeer with real ones' names on there. Some holiday graphics. Coop, you think you can come up with some holiday graphics?
Maybe not right now, but yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Think you could do that? I'll task producer Coop with that,
Yeah,
Rob
we can
Jigga.
do that.
Maybe for the holiday game, maybe for Christmas against the Eagles.
Little Christmas Day action, right?
Yeah, a little Christmas Day action. Hopefully it's not too bad. Yeah, James, if you want to ask your question now, you got my attention, brother. Maybe it was an old question and it's not relevant anymore.
You ready to get into this sack?
We are ready to get into the sack. After the mailbag, we will be doing the raffle for the flag. Every $5 super chat gets you a ticket to win the pennant as well as your name on there. $5 super chat, and someone's going to win this pennant today.
For those that don't know, what would our sponsor be on this one?
Our sponsor would be... I have the wrong doc pulled up.
Thank you.
Good stuff, man. Way to leave your producer hanging, bro.
No, we're good.
Cool.
We're good to go.
Just there's some generic weigh-ins in there that you can use.
Perfect.
Mix in a subby, one driver, and we're good. All righty.
I'm a professional. I can do this.
Let's ride, baby. Get your questions in. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat. I promise today, all Super Chats get on the show. That means you included, James Hollister. Yo, what's up, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We're about to dive into a mailbag where we answer questions from you subscribers out there. So if we don't get to your question today, it's your fault, and you should change it by subscribing to Giants Now by Chat Sports. We are going to continue to pump out free daily content on this channel all year long as we enter the offseason, free agency, draft season, and soon enough, it'll be training camp and OTAs again. So subscribe and note he's on. Jay Sports Card, what's up, homie? To draft a wide receiver one or sign one in free agency or trade for one? Yes, the Giants need to find a way to add a legit weapon to this offense last year. I liked the gamble that they made on Darren Waller last year. You gave up the 100th pick in the NFL draft. You gave up half of what you got for Kadarius Toney. I like that trade. We knew we had the risk with the injury, but I think it was a good move. But this offseason, Jay Sports Card, yes, the Giants need to make a move for a legit wide receiver. Do you draft one, sign one, or trade one? I think it all matters with everything matters. Like, there's got to be some context to what it is. For me, I think the best way to do one is to draft one, right? Because they're cost controlled for 4 to 5 years. You sign one, you're going to have to overpay. I wouldn't mind trading for one because we've seen other teams in this league trade for good receivers and it not hurt them. Like the Philadelphia Eagles traded for A.J. Brown. The Miami Dolphins traded for Tyreek Hill. You could trade for a good receiver. There's some good ones in free agency. Mike Evans will be there. T. Higgins could potentially be there. If I had to say what I would do, it's kind of hard for me to answer because I don't know how the rest of the offseason is playing out and I don't know who's available. I'm going to say probably a trade is probably more likely. I'll say trade. Leonard Zinnard, my man, $5 super chat. Best name on YouTube. What's up, Brody? Stay away from those 5 millis, dude. Those are crazy. Says, F the narrative. We gon' beat them Eagles. Me and Jalen Carter got IG beef, so I need us to win so I could talk my she. What's the beef? Take a screenshot of it, Leonard Zinnard, and send it to me on IG. MarshG10, I believe, is my name on IG. Something like that. We'll put it on the show. I'd love to beat the Eagles. It could be sad. Gilly! Glad we got your question on today's show. Shout out producer Coop. BPA at 7, O-line in round 2. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Even if the BPA at 7 is the offensive line, like if Joe Alt's there or Olu Fashanu is there at 7, I'm cool with taking that player there as well, Gilly. You have 2 second-round picks. Remember, I know you know, but for the people that don't know, you do have 2. One coming from the Seattle Seahawks. But yes, through one of the first 3 picks, one of them has to be an O-lineman. Maybe even 2. Gilly. Gus Nini. Marsh, what do you see with Barkley's future with the team? I think they're going to franchise tag him again. I hope that's the way that they handle this. I've said it 100 times. I'm not giving Saquon Barkley a multi-year contract. Running back is the most dependent position in football. The guy had 9 rushes for 14 yards yesterday. And it wasn't Saquon Barkley's fault. So why am I investing heavy money into a guaranteed contract to a player that's also injury-prone and his success is predicated off the offensive line? I would rather just give the money I'm going to give to Barkley to the offensive line and then draft one and let him cook. I think Barkley is a damn good player. I think he is important to this football team. I'm not giving him a multi-year deal. I'd franchise tag him this year, and I'd franchise tag him next year, and then let's have a conversation when he's 29 years old. Not giving him a long-term deal. Micah Gibson, it has nothing to do with the person. I love Saquon. I'm just talking about what I think is best for this organization. Micah, what up? Would you make this trade? 3 first-round picks, this year's second, a 5th, 6th, and either X-Man or Jackson, and next year's 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Well, you can't trade Adoree Jackson because he's going to be a free agent. Yeah, I would do that. Is it a lot? Yeah. Are you overpaying? Yeah. But once you get your quarterback, let's go battle. Let's go fight. I don't think that's the ideal way to go get your quarterback, considering giving up 3 first-round picks, a 2nd, and a 5th, and a 6th, and a starter, and next year's 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I think that's a wild overpay. I don't even know if the Bills say yes to that. But, yeah, I would do it because Josh Allen, in my opinion, is the 2nd-best quarterback in this league. Pokey Moore. If we're 5-9, and the Jets are also 5-9, but they beat us, why are we under them at pick 6? I'm sure we had the tougher schedule. Head-to-head tiebreakers have nothing to do with draft picks. It's all about strength of schedule, and you can't figure out the full strength of schedule till the end of the season. So if we are picking under them, that means that they had a harder schedule than we did, or an easier schedule than we did. So hope that answers your question. Who do you want the Giants to draft? A lot of talk about what the Giants should do. Should they trade up? Should they trade back? Pick a quarterback, pick a receiver, lineman? What do you think? Who do you want the Giants to draft, as they are going to have a top 10 pick in this year's draft? We'll get to more questions coming up in a second, but I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS, and PrizePicks will match your first deposit up to $100. PrizePicks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America, and you should play today. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, choose more or less on their stat line, and see what happens. PrizePicks makes game day a whole lot more fun, and you can win some real-life monies. They also have awesome deals throughout the holiday seasons. You should get hooked up with them. It's the only way to play daily fantasy. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. Il Caesar, any position you wouldn't consider in the top 50 in the draft? Honestly, no. No. I would take a quarterback. I'd take maybe running back. Maybe running back's the only one. I'd take Brock Bowers. I'd take a receiver. I'd take a DT. I'd take a D lineman. I'd take an edge rusher. I'd take an outside linebacker. Maybe not a middle linebacker. Because of Bobby Okereke and Micah McFadden. So middle linebacker and maybe running back, the only 2 positions. But I could take a corner. I could take a safety. I could take a DT. I could take an edge rusher. I'd take any O lineman. I'd take a tight end. I'd take a receiver. I'd take a quarterback. Great question. Probably just running back and linebacker, inside linebacker. Only 2. Garcia Arts, what's up, homie? So let's say we rebuild our O-line and fire Kafka, and DJ still sucks next year. He gets benched. Do you really think Tommy will get us to the Super Bowl with an O-line? No. Don't really get your thought process. So let's say we rebuild our O-line and fire Kafka, and DJ still sucks. No. And it doesn't have to do with the O-line or Kafka. I just don't think Tommy DeVito's that good. Like, it just is. That's just what my eyes tell me. That's what my eyes tell me. Key 100M33. There's got to be like Kilo Meach. I like that. I don't think it's right. If we would have never paid Daniel Jones all of that money, do you think we would be a high record team, Mark? I don't think you're any better if you don't pay Daniel Jones, considering who would have been your quarterback. But, yeah, going forward, I definitely do think paying Daniel Jones is going to hinder the success of this team. I mean, next year he's got a $40+ million cap hit. And then once you cut him after next season, he'll have a $22 million dead cap hit for the 2025 season. So, yeah, you're going to feel the effects of that Daniel Jones contract for the next 2 seasons. I don't think you would be much better, though, if you didn't pay him, because who would you have got? And I think we've now understood that there's a lot more problems on this team than just the quarterback. I don't know. Maybe you would have drafted one. I don't know. Make sure you subscribe. Giants Now by Chat Sports. If you want to get your question on the next mailbag, hit that subscribe button. Stay in the loop on everything Big Blue. Free Giants content every single day. Stoic Leaders. Chance of a playoff berth if we win out. So I actually have the New York Times playoff simulator open right now, and we can roll through this. If it's telling me to make a subscription, that ain't going to happen. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. Who do you think you are? Let's go to an incognito browser. Hold on. You think I'm making a New York Times login and paying? New York Times playoff machine. Got it open. You can always beat it with the incognito browser. Word to the wise there. All right. So right now, the Giants have a 1% chance to make the playoffs. If they beat the Eagles this week, it jumps up to 4%. If you beat the Rams the next week, goes up to 12%. If you beat the Eagles, you have a 43% chance to make the playoffs. So even if you win out, it's a coin flip. Less than a coin flip. You need other people to, So no, Giants aren't making the playoffs. What up, G? Would you move up from 7-1 to select Caleb Williams? Yes. Absolutely. Giants need a quarterback. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft. I have him and Drake May neck and neck. I think Williams has a higher ceiling. I think May has a lower floor. But if Caleb Williams hits, he may be a multi-time MVP in this league. And Giants need that type of guy. They need that type of guy. Who would you rather have? Would it be Williams or Drake May? Type CW for Caleb Williams. Type DM for Drake May. I want to hear from you in the chat. Ghosty boy. Should we draft a QB because DeVito won 3 in a row, but he lost the Cowboys and we play them 2 times a year? I think we should get Jane Daniels. That's what I think. Tommy DeVito should not play any part in what you think you should do at the quarterback position going forward. It doesn't. No. Tommy DeVito is not your franchise quarterback, and he should have no bearing. Good word there. Bearing on what the Giants should do going forward at that position. Tyrano. Infinity. What odds do you think the Giants have of beating the Eagles? 1%. I mean, look, guys. We're a bad football team. The Saints just beat our ass. The Eagles, I don't think are very good either, but we're not. No, 1%. Hope I'm wrong. Hope this becomes a meme of some sort. 1%, if that. Maybe it's a Christmas miracle. Maybe they throw batteries at Santa again and the fortune flips to our favor. I don't know. Gilly says any given Sunday. That's why I gave it 1% and not 0, Gilly. Any given Sunday, 1%. 1%. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Enjoy your holidays with your family. Hug them a little tighter. Good stuff today. We appreciate you. We'll see you later. Gilly, I did. Any given Sunday, 1%.
That was an electric mailbag. I won't lie to you.
That was something. That was something, wasn't it?
You taught people how to go incognito.
Incognito browser whenever they tell you to use a subscription.
All right. I'm pretty sure we're all caught up on the wheel of names.
We're going to do 1 minute. 1 minute. If you want to enter to win this here Giants pennant, you have to send in a $5 super chat in the next minute.
Except producer Seeps forgot to set this up, so I got to set it up.
$5 super chat to enter. $5 super chat.
1 minute.
1 minute. 1 minute. Ty Man, the Buckeye, says F Pitt, Coop. Tyrano, peace out.
Yeah, Pitt's not been good, man. Ty Man, the Buckeye's in a lot of chat sports chats. I see him everywhere.
Yeah. No, there will be no Jones juice. The Jersey juice is dead. It won us 3 games in a row, and we got our ass kicked yesterday. Nope's leaving. Peace out, Brody.
Goodbye, Nope.
Micah Gibson says, why don't you think Philly is good? Because I don't think that Jalen Hurts is that good.
He's overrated. I've been saying that.
He's not that good.
He is overrated.
He's really good at playing with the lead because he can run the ball.
Good at playing with the lead. If it's 3rd and 1, there's no quarterback in the NFL. I want more.
Gilly, if Tommy DeVito wins out, then maybe he should affect our draft strategy.
No, he shouldn't.
He should not, no. Rob Jigga, are you in on the raffle?
You are.
Yes, you are, Rob Jigga. Yes, you are. All righty, no one else?
Okay, Kent P's in.
No one else? Is this it?
Bronx Boy is in.
All righty.
Tony Ballard is in. Mr. Paul Modesto is in. I think we're good.
I think we're live. All righty.
Send it.
Let's do it. Wait, is Bill in?
Bill's in.
Bill's in?
Yep.
I think we're all good. Leonard's entered?
Yep.
Rob Jigga?
Yep.
Bill?
Yep.
PSN?
Yep.
Ken P?
Yep.
Bronx Boy?
Yep.
Mr. P?
Yep.
Tony Ballard?
Yep.
All right, that's it. Let's spin it. Let's see who's going to win the raffle. La da 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 dee 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 dee. Tony Ballard. Hopefully Tony is still watching. I'm not sure he is. He said he's all the way from Hawaii. Tony? Leonard Zinard says so close. It was so close. Tony's watching. My man. Tony, are you on social media of any sorts? Twitter or Instagram?
There's
Tony,
Marsha's Twitter.
Tony, if you're on Twitter, send me your shipping address via DM. Tony, if you're on Twitter, send me your shipping address via DM. Dope. He's on Twitter. Tony, here's my Twitter, _Green_. Send me a DM with your shipping address, and we'll get that shipped out this week here at Chat Sports. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. You guys are the best. We're going to sign off on today's video, and we'll see you later.